He's a general manager, he's a president, more importantly, he's the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. He's Jerry Jones, and he joins us right here on Instant Replay tonight. Thanks for being with us, sir.
Hey, it's wonderful to shake that hand. This is the 31st time that we've done this.
It's too kind of you to do it, too. I appreciate that.
Well, it's amazing, and it always feels good because I know who we're talking to, and that's our fans in San Antonio that I'm so appreciative of and love, and I want to be sure and let you know we're not through having some camp in San Antonio.
Oh, okay. Well, you may have been
figure out a way
breaking
to get
something.
back
Maybe we
down
have some more camping to talk about in San Antonio
Exactly.
someday. But we do like Oxnard, just so you know.
Well, it's nice out here, and I kind of like it too. Someone said, Jones, you could get you some California and have some nice weather without the expense of bringing the whole team out there.
Sure.
Well, it just wouldn't be the same if you didn't have everybody here to enjoy this weather together.
Well, let us know when you're headed back to San Antonio. We'd appreciate that.
Great.
All right. You come into this camp. Are you upset that Ezekiel's not here? And if you're not upset, why?
Well, I'm not happy. I'm not anything. A part of what we do involves players in particular. It can be coaches that are under contract that have basically said, we'll do this, and then, but we've changed our mind and we'd like for you to look at changing this in our agreement. That's accepted. That's a part of it. And so I look at that and I look and say, well, we'll see if we can do it, if it's in your best interest, but it's got to be in the Cowboys' best interest too. Well, the Cowboys' best interest involved taking a finite amount of dollars, called the money under the cap, and paying everybody on the team. Right now, in the NFL, 10% of the players make 2/3 of the money. And so it's important, though, that we do that allocation of those dollars under the cap so that gives us the best chance to do what? Win and go to a Super Bowl. Now, with that in mind, I'll sit down and talk to any player, his agent, or anybody about his business. It's the thing to do. And I know how important it is to the individual player. They haven't been doing this as long as I have. They haven't been doing business as long. And boy, they're sitting there thinking about even generational money sometime. And I'm not cavalier about how important it is to them. But I'm also not cavalier about the fact that we've got to do what's in the best interest of the Cowboys.
Can you do it, though, with still 2 years left on his current contract?
Well, the issues are those. It can be just because someone wants it done doesn't mean that you can do it. You say, well, you have the authority to do it, but it's not the thing to do in the best interest of the Cowboys.
Do you see it being resolved soon?
I don't know. Those things I'm often asked, where are you on a contract? You're never anywhere until both parties have signed it. Ever. You're not even up until the last 3 minutes before you sign it do you know you're there.
Right.
So I can't tell you where we are. All I know is that everybody but Zeke is in training camp, and we're having a heck of a training camp. What does happen, though, and it always happens, is that we've got some great talent that we have at running back. And our team will practice that talent, and we'll play with it in preseason. And we'll do some things that, God forbid, if we didn't have Zeke in a ball game, that we have these guys ready to come in and do it a different way than if we had Zeke. We need to do some of that anyway.
It's clear you're all in on Dak Prescott as your face of the franchise, a future quarterback. You're going to pay him more than any other Cowboy probably has ever made in the history of this team, eventually. Is that deal close to getting done, and is he the quarterback who can get you to the Super Bowl?
Again, I don't have a proximity. Dak is under contract, so we're not impacting this year at all. But I will say this, he is our quarterback of the future. And it's so comforting to know that we've had 3 full years to evaluate and see what he's capable of. We obviously think that the best is yet to come, but we like what we've seen in those 3 years. If Dak were in the draft this past year and we'd have had a number 1 pick and did not have a quarterback, we would have used that number 1 pick on Dak. We know that much. Now, we only used a 4 on him, but still, we know that he's a number 1 caliber player. And I, for one, want to go forward for our future as long as Dak is playing. I'd like for him to be the quarterback of the Cowboys.
Can this roster take you to the Super Bowl?
Yes, yes. I like the makeup. This may be either the youngest or next to youngest roster in the NFL. But it's the most experienced roster to be as young as it is that I've ever been around. And so we've got some great experience. We've got real talent on both sides of the ball. And we've got some extraordinary speed that we haven't had, I don't think, at any time in the last 30 years. The speed that we have on our offense on this roster. So all of that could make for an exciting year for us.
Jason Garrett is your quarterback now of the future. He's coming into the season, his 10th, without an extension. You kind of joked about it a little bit at the State of the Cowboys address, but at the same time, what does he have to do to keep his job in your eyes?
Well, I think Jason, who I've had known and worked with actually for a sum total of probably 15 to 20 years, and knew his dad well. We know each other, and we have a lot of faith in each other. We have to look at the business of winning. We have got a team that Jason should be able to take and really knock on the door. It doesn't hurt. As a matter of fact, it's one of my biggest motivators, is to kind of have a little ambiguity involved in what is going to happen under success or non-success. What is that? That's up for definition as well. So the ambiguity part of not having a contract in the last year cuts both ways. For instance, this past year we had several teams get new coaches. I'm convinced, firsthand from talking with other owners, I'm convinced that Jason would be snapped up in a second if he were out on the street, didn't have a contract, and other teams are looking for coaches.
Thanks for being with us as always. Do you mind signing the board
Good
once
to be
again?
on it. We've got to do that.
Thank you. As always, appreciate that.
Still think I can sign that thing there.